court judgment in the restitution case between the District 6 Working Committee and the Rural Development and Land Reform Department. We now cross to our reporter, Vanessa Poonah. Vanessa, a very good morning to you. What happened in court this morning?
Yes, good morning to you. And scenes of elation outside the Western Cape High Court this morning as residents and those hoping to return to District 6 are celebrating a judgment made a short while ago by Judge Yasmin Mia. In a judgment, she has said that the former Minister Mashabane had failed to comply in her constitutional duties and, of course, to act on a judgment made by Judge Kollapen. Also, she mentioned that the minister was grossly unreasonable in the discharge of her duties. And of course, we know that this matter refers to a judgment by the court for government, the Department of Rural Development and Land Reform to come up with a comprehensive plan for the distribution, or rather retribution, in District 6, and the claimants that have been waiting, some of them for longer than 20 years, to return to District 6. And this plan was supposed to have been finalised, all-encompassing in terms of how District 6 will be redeveloped. Now, joining me to explain more about the judgment itself is Shahid Ajam. He's the chairperson of the District 6 Working Committee. Shahid, just now addressing all these claimants, you said that this was indeed a victory not just for District 6 but for every single land claimant in South Africa. Why do you say so?
Good morning, Vanessa. Yes, you know, for over 100 years, the person of colour in South Africa has suffered. We have been through colonialism, we have been through apartheid, then we came into the democracy, and now we have suffered under the Restitution of Land Rights Act. But the Constitution is a beautiful document, Section 25, which relates to property. And finally today was a watershed moment for the people of District 6 and the people of South Africa. It means essentially that we have now the right to return to the land from which we were dispossessed of, the land which belongs to us in the first place. So for us it is a great moment in history, and you know, for urban restitution particularly, that people should now come out, especially the urban communities who were dispossessed over 50 years ago, and they should come out strongly now, because this case has set a precedent for all urban restitution.
You talk about a precedent-setting judgment. In this judgment, the former minister was held liable for the costs on the one day of court proceedings in a personal capacity to pay for a senior as well as junior counsel. This surely must mean that the courts have found that the minister in a personal capacity as well as the department have literally failed the restitution process.
Well, not only has she failed the restitution process, she has failed in her constitutional obligations, towards the people of South Africa, and that is a big thing in this country. And it shows that no minister, no president, no premier can hide behind the law anymore. It shows that democracy works in South Africa, and the fact that she's being held personally responsible for the cost goes a long way in saying to us and the people of South Africa that the time of hide and seek is in fact past.
Shahid, I understand that there will be a meeting tomorrow where you will be discussing this judgment and also the way forward. As it stands right now, there was an initial court judgment in terms of holding government to account with timeframes. Where is that process after today's judgment?
Well, I think the judge was clear today when she said that she hopes that we can now work together to find an amicable solution to District 6. So that means that we will ask the court to implement those time frames which we asked for in our application, in that the minister must in 3 monthly periods report on the progress of District 6. So that will definitely happen, Vanessa.
Thank you very much. Of course, speaking to us there, Shahid Ajam, the chairperson of the District 6 Working Committee, as members of this community longing to return to their places of birth. For many of them, of course, during the 1960s, they were forcibly removed from the area and have been waiting ever since to return. And we do know that in a judgment, Judge Mia just now said that it is her fervent hope that this judgment will go a long way in resolving not just the District 6 land claim, but also also that the goals of redressing the wrongs of the past will eventually be righted, saying that it has proven difficult over the past number of decades.
Vanessa, if you can indulge me just a little bit just here, just for the benefit of viewers who are from outside the Western Cape. The judgment today is in relation to the minister not doing her work, but how does this impact the progression of the District 6 claim?
And that's exactly what Shahid Ajam alluded to just now. What he's saying is that the claims themselves, the process itself, the court judgment whereby government was tasked to provide updates, 3 monthly updates, also for a comprehensive plan for the redevelopment of District 6 needs to go ahead. We know that the District 6 Working Committee will have a meeting tomorrow morning where they will be discussing the way forward. And of course, we know that there are thousands of residents of District 6 longing to return. I understand that phase 3 of the development is currently underway, but it has been happening at a snail's pace, if I stand corrected. But I think it's under 200 families that have been returned to the historical District 6, and we know that there are thousands of residents that are waiting to return, of course, all determined by that plan by government, which we understand to redevelop the area, which will run into billions of rands, and government had previously said that they will not be able to do it alone. So certainly from the residents and those wanting to return to District 6, today's judgment against the previous minister, also then against the Department of Rural Development and Land Affairs, certainly seen as a victory in their fight to return to their place of birth.
Was government representation in court today in terms of people for the new minister or the minister themselves?
There was no people speaking on behalf of government today in court. It was very short court proceedings this morning. The judge came in, delivered a judgment in under 5 minutes, and that, of course, was the end of proceedings. We will, however, throughout the course of the day, seek to get clarity as well as a response from the department and as well as the former minister in terms of this order, the cost order against her, and also the order against the department in terms of it not having done its constitutional obligation to speedily restitute residents of District 6.
We just heard you speaking to Mr. Ajam now. I imagine happiness all round where you are, Vanessa.
Yes, indeed, and it's quite sad sometimes when one covers the District 6 stories and court applications and so on, because a lot of the residents, a lot of those that are coming to court are elderly people. You'll understand that they would have been waiting, some of them for over 20 years, to be returned to District 6. And certainly just now on the steps of the High Court behind me, when Shahid Ajam as well as the legal representatives briefed those that had come to court today, there were songs of "We will go back home," and that, of course, showing that people are indeed very satisfied. The sad reality, of course, is that some claimants have already passed on, others are getting on in years, but there is a sense of hope that with each judgment in favour of the residents and claimants of District 6, the process is inching closer and closer to the day when they finally get to return, even not themselves, but their offspring to the place, District 6, one of the most remarkable incidences of displacement, people being thrown out of the area, buildings bulldozed. Of course, it stands out in the history books as one of the cruel acts which took place under the apartheid government.
Vanessa, thank you so much for that update.